In October of 2019, the Liverpool soccer player and international superstar Sadio Mane was seen walking around airports and soccer fields with a completely cracked iPhone. As soon as the photos made their way online, fans across social media platforms began mocking and making fun of the rich soccer player. Tweet after tweet, the public couldn't believe their eyes. A famous athlete who was making around $200,000 a week, yet he held on to an old iPhone with a broken screen and a cracked case. But why? In this video, we will go over his story and why everyone who made fun of him immediately regretted it. This is truly an inspiring story, the story of Sadio Mane. Growing up, most kids only had a handful of worries on their minds, like what video game to play after school or which TV show to watch during dinner. But for young Sadio Mane, his childhood consisted of daily panic about whether or not his family will have any food on the table. From extreme poverty to family hardships and trauma, Sadio would wake up thankful just to be alive. That is why, even after being publicly mocked for having a broken old phone, soccer millionaire Sadio Mane showed the world what truly matters in life in the most shocking way possible. Waking up in a small village of Bambali, deep in the south of Senegal, 7-year-old Sadio never knew if there was life beyond farming. Raised in a very financially tough environment, the now Liverpool soccer player only had two thoughts on his mind: how to contribute to his family and how to play soccer without his father knowing about it. See, Sadio may be a world-renowned soccer player now, but in the late 1990s in Bambali, he was just a kid whose father had forbidden him to go near a soccer ball. As shared by Mane, I was born in a small town in Senegal called Bambali. I was considered the best player in town, but no one in my family wanted me to be a footballer, and I was totally convinced that I could be one when I left. The only thing that worried me was how. But how did Sadio manage to secretly practice soccer if he knew of the consequences that would follow? Even though Sadio's parents were very against the soccer player pursuing his life's dream, everything changed in 2002. Bambali was left stunned and in awe when they witnessed the Senegal team make it to the 2002 World Cup Championship held in Japan and South Korea. No one could have imagined the Senegal team beating France and putting their country's name on the international soccer map. This event not only shocked the citizens of Senegal, but it also inspired Sadio to let go of his fears and finally go after the one thing he loved the most: soccer. Sadio recalls, "It was after the World Cup that I decided to be better and better, but my family had other plans for me. It was only when everything in my life revolved around football that I began to convince them to let me go to Dakar, the capital city of my country. My parents never had money to send me to school, so that was never an option for me." Heartbroken and crushed, Sadio still wouldn't give up on his passion, and that's when he realized there was only one way he could continue on his soccer journey. Without a penny in his pocket, Sadio left his home at 15 and began training and playing ball with his friends. He didn't have expert coaches or professional trainers. He just had a soccer ball, an open court, and a couple of friends to play with. I saw boys playing, and I joined their games. I went to the court every day when I grew up, especially when the national team played. I wanted to see my heroes and imagine myself as being one of them. I only thought about playing in the Premier League as a little kid, which I watched on television. That was my biggest dream. Thanks to a real-life miracle, this is exactly how the Bambali native got discovered. Like a true Hollywood movie come to life, Sadio was just showcasing his talents on the court when a very important person noticed his skills. A delegation from France was visiting Dakar to recruit a fresh new team. Knowing his parents would never allow him to go, Sadio secretly auditioned in front of the head coaches. Sadly, it wasn't his talent or skills that first caught everyone's eye. It was Sadio's poverty. But how exactly? As I mentioned earlier, Sadio's family barely had the money for food, and they could never afford the clothes other kids were wearing. Instead of soccer shoes and sports shorts, Sadio showed up at the important audition with torn boots and an old pair of shorts. Kids and talent scouts laughed when they saw Mane, but the cruel judgment didn't stop the talented player from doing what he did best. It was then and there that his life changed forever. Soccer coach Oliver Perrin immediately saw Sadio's talent despite struggling to play in boots and rough shorts. He pointed to Sadio, called him out from the crowd, and yelled, "You stay, you're going to play on my team." Soon after, Sadio became one of the most popular and sought-after players in soccer. He joined the Generation Foot Academy in his late teens, which gave him the spotlight he needed for success. After scoring 131 goals in 90 matches, the entire planet was introduced to Mane's jaw-dropping talent. And here's where Sadio's story becomes shocking to most. He joined the French Metz team in 2011, and by 2014, he had already signed a €4 million contract. Yes, €4 4 million. Not even in his wildest dreams could Sadio imagine being a millionaire at just 22. After all, he was a poor kid with a rough background whose daily thoughts were having food on the table and becoming a soccer star. Year after year, his salary and talent grew bigger and bigger. 4 million euro turned into 20 million, which turned into a whopping 36 million. But the story just gets better. If Sadio is making millions, why was he seen walking around with a broken old iPhone? With so much money to his name, can't Sadio just easily snap his fingers and get everything he wants? The answer is yes, he absolutely can, but he refuses to do so. When the Liverpool player was seen walking around with a cracked iPhone, people worldwide began mocking and making fun of him. Bullying comments were all over social media attacking the player for looking poor and not buying a new iPhone. The reasons behind this go beyond what you might expect. Even though Sadio has enough money to buy thousands and thousands of new iPhones, he kept his cracked iPhone for one simple reason. He discreetly embarrassed greedy fans and those who only chase materialism in life with a few simple words. Sadio candidly expressed, "Why would I want 10 Ferraris, 20 diamond watches, and 2 private jets? What would that do for the world? I starved, worked in the fields, played barefoot, and didn't go to school. Now I can help people. I prefer to build schools and give poor people food and clothing. I have built schools and a stadium. We provide clothes, shoes, and food for people in extreme poverty. In addition, I give 70 euros per month to all the people from a very poor Senegalese region to contribute to their family economy. I do not need to display luxury cars, luxury homes, trips, or planes. I prefer that my people receive a little of what life has given me." Hearing Sadio's life story and his difficult journey to success, soccer fans of the world realize his talents go beyond passing the ball on the field. Sadio's most precious gift is his generosity and modesty. To this day, Sadio Mane is a true hero to his home country of Senegal, where he continues to spread love and positivity. Mane is reminded of his roots and where he came from every day. He practices alongside professional athletes, knowing of the hardships he had to face. As we've seen, 5-star hotels and late-night parties don't matter to the Bombali native. What matters most to Sadio is the fact that he accomplished the impossible.